Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff channels her Florida energy in stunning bikini photos. Coco Gauff is enjoying her Florida roots. The tennis player shared some recent snapshots of herself enjoying nature, including some shots of her in a bikini as she enjoys Florida's stunning natural landscapes. Gauff shared the photos on an Instagram post, sharing some of what she's been up to with her followers. The post includes photos of herself looking stunning in a brown bikini, as she relaxed in what appears to be Florida's beloved Everglades. More photos show the state's ponds, greenery, and wildlife, with some turtles making an adorable appearances. She also some shots of herself kayaking, and videos of her swimming through Florida waters. Just a Floridian Pisces in her natural habitat, she captioned the post, adding an emoji of a mermaid and a star. The post marks a welcome return home for Gauff, who was recently competing in Wimbledon and shared some photos of her time in Atlanta, Georgia. Coco Gauff was born and raised in Florida. Coco Gauff was born in Boca Raton, Florida, but spent a bit of her youth in Atlanta, Georgia, with her family moving shortly after she was born. A few years later, they returned to Florida, settling in on Delray Beach, where Gauff began training and spent most of her formative years. Gauff has long honored her roots, even releasing a tennis shoe named after her hometown, the Coco del Rey, which she made in partnership with New Balance. This court, I've had countless of practices here, just me and my dad. There's very familiar people I see out here since I was 7 years old, and I still see all the time, she said in an interview with CBS Mornings. It feels like it was not too long ago when I was here in this position, she added with a laugh, referencing to the little kids that were training there and excitedly meeting her. Despite playing in some of the world's biggest tennis tournaments, Gauff loves coming home and proudly calls Florida the tennis capital of the world. The Florida sun glistened on the water like a mirror catching fire, and Coco Gauff, radiant, vibrant, and brimming with the confidence of a rising star, stood at its edge, channeling the energy of her home state with a smile that could rival the sun itself. It wasn't just a vacation. It was a statement, a celebration, a homecoming wrapped in sunshine and salt water, in the place where her roots run deep, where her powerful journey first began. A star returns to her element. Coco Gauff has always been electric on the court. Her explosive serves, fearless ground strokes, and unapologetic passion have made her a force in women's tennis. But off the court, she radiates just as brightly. And in a recent series of stunning bikini photos shared from her Florida retreat, Coco reminded the world of something it already suspected. She doesn't just play tennis. She lives it. She breathes it. And she balances it all with grace, soul, and unmistakable style. Set against the backdrop of Florida's lush coastline, the images weren't just beautiful. They were bold declarations of selfhood. In a world where athletes are often told to stay in one lane, Gauff stepped out into the sunlight and owned every bit of who she is. Young, powerful, free. Florida, her natural charge. To understand the energy in those photos, you have to understand Florida. It's not just where she grew up. It's a living, breathing part of her personality. The state's wild mix of chaos and calm, lightning storms and lazy rivers, flamingos and hurricanes, mirrors Coco's playing style. Explosive, unpredictable, exhilarating. In the photos, her bikini choices reflected this fusion. One featured bright coral tones that echoed the reefs of the Keys, while another played with tropical prints, a nod to Miami's vibrant streets. Her hair, braided and sun-kissed, fell naturally, as though the sea breeze had styled it itself. Each pose felt like a reflection of the elements. In one, she leaned back against a palm tree, half hidden in its shadow, laughing as if sharing a secret with the sun. In another, ankle-deep in the tide, she faced the horizon like it was her next opponent, calm, focused, fearless. Beyond the bikini, power, confidence, and reclamation. While tabloids buzzed about Coco's bikini moment, fans knew the truth. This wasn't just about beachwear. It was about power, about freedom, about a young woman reclaiming her narrative in a space where female athletes are often scrutinized for simply existing. Florida just brings out my real self, she captioned one photo. It wasn't a boast, it was a revelation. In a time when the WDA calendar is packed and the spotlight rarely fades, Florida is her retreat and her recharge. Her bikini wasn't armor. It wasn't decoration. It was her uniform in the battle for balance, joy, and self-expression. At 21, Coco Gauff has already had to navigate pressures that would make most buckle. From Wimbledon fairy tales at 15 to Grand Slam expectations before finishing high school, she's lived a life under the magnifying glass. These photos weren't for clicks. They were a breath, a reclaiming, a this is me moment in the most authentic way possible. Fans react. This is what a champion looks like. Social media exploded with love and admiration, not just for her style, but for her confidence, for being real, for showing that strength isn't always flexed on a court. It's also in the quiet moments, the bold choices, the fearless expressions. You're glowing with joy, Coco. That's championship energy. One fan wrote. Another added, this is what a role model looks like. Confident, real, free. It was clear that Coco wasn't just representing Florida anymore. She was representing something much larger, a generation that refuses to be boxed in. A new era of athletes who are as expressive off-court as they are competitive on it. The intersection of style and substance. Fashion and sport have long danced together. Serena's catsuits, Naomi's braids, Venus's bold prints. Coco is following that tradition, carving her own path in it. In the photos, every bikini choice felt intentional, a reflection of mood and mindset. She even collaborated with a local designer, reportedly from Miami's Little Haiti, to create pieces that merged Caribbean culture with athletic comfort. It wasn't just beachwear. It was storytelling through fabric, color, and silhouette. Clothing is part of how I express myself, she shared in a brief video post. When I'm in Florida, I feel like I can just be me. I don't need the tennis whites or press conference looks. I just need sunshine, water, and a little bit of boldness. Preparing for the U.S. Open, Florida style. Though she appeared relaxed, there was a quiet determination underneath the surface. The sunlit photos may have captured her free-spirited side, but make no mistake, Coco Gauff is always thinking one step ahead. Sources close to her team revealed that in between the beach outings and boat rides, she's been training hard. Morning jogs on the sand, open water swimming, and yoga under the palms are all part of her Florida regimen. A different kind of boot camp that connects her to nature and keeps her body finely tuned. The balance of serenity and strength is something she's been mastering, and it shows. Her presence in front of the camera, playful yet poised, is the same energy she's expected to bring to the hard courts of Flushing Meadows. A symbol of empowerment for young women. What makes Coco's photos so resonant isn't just her physical beauty, it's her fearlessness. She's growing up in front of the world, and doing so on her own terms. In an industry where women are often objectified or critiqued for their appearance, Coco turns the lens back on her own terms. This Florida photo series wasn't a brand campaign. It wasn't overly curated. It was a diary entry, sun-kissed and soul-bared. It reminded fans, especially young girls, that confidence isn't something given. It's built. Through wins and losses, applause and criticism, sunshine and storms. The future looks bright, and a little bit salty. As she heads into the next chapter of her tennis career, Coco Gauff isn't just chasing titles. She's building a legacy. One where authenticity matters as much as athleticism. Where style and sportsmanship coexist. Where women are free to be fierce, funny, fashionable, and focused, all at once. Her bikini-clad days on Florida beaches may be just one small chapter in that story, but they reflect something much larger. Coco Gauff is not just in her element. She is the element, fire, water, air, and earth, grounded in her roots, lifted by her dreams, and shining for all to see. Final thought, not just a post, but a pulse. In the scrolling noise of social media, many posts are forgotten within hours. But Coco Gauff's Florida photos linger. They ripple. They inspire. Because they're not just about a tennis star enjoying her off-season. They're about a young woman embracing who she is, exactly where she came from. She isn't hiding behind trophies or titles. She's stepping into the light, standing in the surf, smiling at the sun. And for anyone watching, one truth becomes crystal clear. Coco Gauff doesn't just wear the Florida energy. She is the Florida energy, bold, beautiful, and impossible to ignore.